The Instagram algorithm has changed a bunch over the last year, and today I'm going to be going over the 4 adjustments that everyone needs to know about. If you know these 4 things, not only will you be able to do a better post today, but you'll just understand conceptually why the Instagram algorithm has changed so that you can make decisions better for yourself. That's ultimately what I want to help you do on this channel, is teach you how to think about this, not just tell you what to do. So I'll be explaining why and everything so you completely understand it and can become a better entrepreneur in the process. If that sounds good to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you know as soon as new videos come out, because a lot of this stuff is very time sensitive on social media and you want to act on these things right when these new updates come out. So yes, subscribe to the channel and look forward to a lot of new videos coming out soon. So let's get right into it, guys. The first thing that we're going to be talking about today is most of the metrics that the algorithm is based on are not hackable metrics. So anytime someone tells you like, oh yeah, likes are really important or saves are really important, that would kind of tell you that there's a good chance that that might not be correct, because that is very easy to hack. For instance, the Instagram algorithm of like 2015, it was so much based around like the amount of likes you got, the amount of comments, and I don't even think saves was a thing at that point, but just like likes and comments was essentially what it was based around. And then also the hashtags you use. So if you used good hashtags and you got a good amount of likes, your post is going to go viral. And the thing is hashtags is a learnable thing. And there's plenty of people who have great content out there that aren't good at hashtags. So just kind of made the feed filled with good hashtaggers rather than good content creators. And then if you bought likes, it would make the post go viral. And this is why Vine was not able to really make it as a social media platform. They weren't able to control a lot of these fake metrics and fake followers. And Instagram still has these problems as well. But ultimately, the only way to really get around it is to not make the algorithm based around these things that you can get a bunch of bots to go out and do. So most of the metrics today are going to be based on like watch time, or even I believe that they watch your facial expressions. If you make noise like, whoa, that's crazy, and they can see in your eyes that you're like actually interested in the content. The content that you click on also seems to be the biggest determination of like what you're going to keep seeing. So like if you're on the explore page and they're showing you all these different types of posts, like maybe you're into football, so you see some of that. Maybe you see some of your favorite influencers, you see some business tips. If you then go in and choose like whatever category, that is what is really going to register to show you more of that content, because you willingly chose that type of content over the other one. So it's really trying to base it around what is not hackable. The second thing we're going to be talking about is the algorithm is not based around recency as much as it used to be in the past, especially with the chronological feed. So for that reason, posting time doesn't matter nearly as much on Instagram. And you might see reels of yours that they do okay in the first week you post them, and then like the second, third, fourth week, it does really well. It just all of a sudden takes off. And they're doing this now, I think, largely because TikTok inspired it. TikTok's algorithm is way better than Instagram's. It's not even close, by the way, in terms of how good it is at showing you content that is exactly in line with whatever you've got going on in life. But yeah, Instagram is still pretty good. But if there's a post that, like, let's say you're into the fitness market and they identify this reel that someone posted 2 weeks ago as like, hey, it really is an awesome post. No matter who we show it to, they really like it. So we're just picking up on this now, 2 weeks into it. Let's start showing it. I mean, it doesn't really matter that that workout post was posted 2 weeks ago, right? There's a lot of industries that aren't based around like the new news and that's it. Like a lot of these like back workouts, you know, it's still going to be the same back workout in 20 years from now. So it's really not based around recency, and it will let it go viral. So know that that is a reason not to delete your posts in the early stages if it's not doing well. A lot of times it's waiting for it to pick up on it and really know how good that content is before it shows it to anyone else. Because something that Instagram is trying to do that TikTok is really good at is the Instagram algorithm used to be based around, we're going to show your post to a bunch of people, and if they don't like it, we're going to stop showing it, and if they like it, we're going to keep showing it. Nowadays, they try to not even have that test phase, because obviously that's how bad content gets out there. Like, oh yeah, you had to be the guinea pig on that bad content. So thank you for not watching that video, not liking it. We appreciate it. Now we know not to push it out. It was more based around testing the content on people and then continuing if not. And now it is trying to say, I'm not even going to put that post in front of someone unless I think they're going to like it. So right when you post a reel, you might notice that you don't really get a lot of views in the first like 20 minutes. And that's because it is listening to the content and transcripting it. It's trying to figure out what it's about. And before it just starts putting it out there, or especially putting it on like the hashtags or the interest that you give it, it's really just trying to figure out that this is good content before it pushes it out now. The third thing you need to know about the algorithm is much more on the tactical side of things, and that is that the video algorithm seems to be based more around percentage watch time than it is total watch time. So in other words, if you have a video that someone watches 8 of 8 seconds of it, that will register as better than someone watching 10 seconds of your 15-second video. Even though they watched 10 seconds versus 8, it was not as much percentage as someone watching 8 of 8 seconds, or even watching 10 of 8 seconds and getting it over 100% watch time because they start watching it again. So for this reason, that's why a lot of short videos do really, really well on Instagram. When you see people post things like 8-second videos is now like the new magic number, or 6-second videos, what it really means is that if you can figure out to get a whole post's worth of value in 8 seconds time, that will usually do better than you communicating that same amount of value in a 30-second post. So you still do want to get the most amount of value in the shortest amount of time that you can. And for that reason, it's very difficult for posts that are over 30 seconds to do well, because the percentage watch time is almost always going to be lower the longer the video. It doesn't mean that you should stray away from doing any kind of post like that. I have a lot of posts on my channel that I'm like, hey, if someone watches this, they're going to get great value. It is 53 seconds, so I probably won't get a ton of views, but hey, it still is a lot of good value, and this is totally worth it, and those views will really count for a lot because those are more likely to translate to followers. And as I get new people coming on my account, they'll view it. So it doesn't mean like rule out genuinely valuable posts just because they're too long. But it does mean try to fit a lot of value in a short amount of time that is still clearly giving it out. Like maybe just putting a bunch of text on the screen isn't always the best idea. But also I've seen a lot of people do really well with like a ton of text on the screen, and they're just doing some daily tasks in the background, or there's just some basic background around text. And then it's like an 8-second video, but it takes like 13 seconds to read it. So already you're going to like watch 150% just from reading it one time. A lot of things like that is a way to kind of hack the algorithm, I guess, right? Is know that percentage watch time is really important. So try to incorporate some shorter videos in your strategy, especially ones that have an intentionally planned hook, which is the biggest factor in determining your average watch time. If they aren't hooked in the first second, they're not going to keep watching. But if you can say something in the first couple seconds that they're like, all right, I really got to know the answer to that, or like you've got my attention, I got to know more. That is really the biggest determinant of your average watch time. So make sure you never post a video without saying, is this the best hook that I could possibly have on it? If the answer to that is a no, fix that before posting. Don't even post until you figure out what is the best hook that I could have at the beginning of this, and it really makes the biggest difference of anything that you could do on your reels. The fourth thing we're going to talk about is that the share metric has been and always will be the strongest engagement metric that anyone can click on one of your posts. More so than a like or a comment or a save even, a share will always translate to the biggest impact. Not only is it because they're directly sharing it with someone, but it's because that tells Instagram that the post is quality more than any of the other metrics, because it just isn't something people do unless it's genuinely good content. And actually the definition of viral is shareable content. So it really, in order for a post to go viral, it has to be rapidly shared on the internet by definition. And this is just how it happens. So know that if you can inspire that metric, that will do more for your post than inspiring any other thing that you can do by asking for a like or anything like that. So of course, like doing a call to action to share this post, not the worst idea, but it certainly isn't the best idea either. You really do have to think out of the box and go through the content that is on your feed that you've been sharing and say, why did I share this? And have a high awareness of why you share the content that you share, because really you should be always running social media experiments on your own usage as a personal user. And it really is something to say for, like, if that's what you're doing, likely there's a lot of people that are thinking similarly. So make sure you pay close attention to everything that you share and try to incorporate that psychology into your posts. And that will be the biggest way to compete with any algorithm changes, because there's one thing that will always be certain is no matter how that algorithm changes, the metric that influences your post the most in Instagram's algorithm will be the shares. That sums up what you need to know about the Instagram algorithm going into 2023. Be sure you're subscribed in case you never run into my content again, and like this video if you got some value today. Thanks so much for listening. I'll talk to you soon.